Joseph's journey from favored son to slave to prisoner to prime minister isn't just an ancient story. It's a masterclass in resilience, emotional intelligence, and strategic living that speaks directly to our modern struggles with betrayal, purpose, and power. The architecture of resilience. Lessons from the pit to the palace. 1. Guard your dreams, but master your delivery. Joseph's first major mistake wasn't having ambitious dreams. It was his tone-deaf communication of them. At 17, he broadcast his superiority dreams to brothers already seething with resentment. Your vision matters, but audience awareness matters more. In professional settings, share your ambitions strategically. With colleagues who might feel threatened, frame your goals collaboratively. I'm working toward leading a team where we can all grow, rather than, I see myself above you all. The dream itself wasn't Joseph's problem. His emotional intelligence in sharing it was. Before sharing ambitious goals, ask yourself, who benefits from hearing this right now? And how will this land given their current position? Your dreams deserve protection in their vulnerable stages. 2. Excellence is your only controllable response. Here's where Joseph's story becomes revolutionary. Sold into slavery, he could have become bitter, performed minimally, or plotted revenge. Instead, he made Potiphar's household flourish. Falsely imprisoned, he could have descended into depression. Instead, he managed the prison so effectively that the warden entrusted everything to him. The counterintuitive truth. Joseph didn't excel because his circumstances were good. He excelled regardless of his circumstances, and this became the mechanism of his eventual liberation. He understood something profound. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control who you become in response. Modern application. When you're passed over for promotion, undermined by colleagues, or stuck in a role beneath your potential, your response determines your trajectory. The person who makes their current position excellent, even when it feels beneath them, builds a reputation that eventually cannot be ignored. Transformative practice. In every frustrating situation, ask, if I were prime minister assigned to this role, how would I execute it? Then do exactly that. Your circumstances will often change because of this posture, not despite it. 3. Interpret your pain, don't just endure it. Joseph's gift of dream interpretation wasn't just supernatural ability, it was a profound capacity to find meaning in experiences. In prison, he didn't just survive, he helped others make sense of their confusion. This skill, honed in darkness, became his ticket to Pharaoh's court. The deeper pattern. The very suffering you're experiencing is developing interpretive skills you'll need for your larger calling. Joseph couldn't have interpreted Pharaoh's dreams without first learning to find meaning in his own nightmares. Modern application. Your current struggle is likely developing precise competencies you'll need later. Betrayal teaches you to read character and motivation. Injustice develops your moral clarity and voice. Waiting cultivates patience and strategic timing. Powerlessness teaches you how to steward power wisely. Reflection exercise. Ask yourself, what is this difficulty teaching me to see, feel, or understand that I couldn't learn any other way? Journal this monthly. You'll discover your suffering has a curriculum. The power paradox, handling success after suffering. 4. The brother's test. Forgiveness is strategic, not just moral. When Joseph's brothers appeared before him in Egypt, he held absolute power over those who had destroyed his youth. This moment reveals perhaps the most sophisticated emotional intelligence in all of Scripture. What Joseph did not do. Immediate revenge, understandable but destructive. Immediate forgiveness, premature, enabling their non-repentance. Reveal his identity prematurely, would have prevented their transformation. What Joseph did do, he created a series of tests that forced his brothers to confront who they had become. Would they abandon Benjamin as they had abandoned him? Would they protect the favored son this time? Through carefully designed pressure, he allowed them to demonstrate genuine change. Forgiveness doesn't mean eliminating boundaries or consequences. It means releasing the right to revenge while maintaining appropriate boundaries, allowing time to reveal character change, not accepting empty apologies, creating opportunities for restored relationships without becoming naive. When someone who undermined you seeks reconciliation, you can forgive internally while still requiring demonstrated trustworthiness over time before fully restoring collaboration. In personal relationships, forgiveness can coexist with "I forgive you and I'm not ready to be vulnerable with you again until I see sustained change." Joseph's wisdom. He wept privately multiple times before revealing himself publicly. He felt the full weight of his emotions, but didn't let them dictate premature action. 5. Reframe your narrative. You meant evil, but God meant it for good. Joseph's most famous line, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives," isn't just theological, it's a masterclass in cognitive reframing that modern psychology validates. The transformation. Joseph didn't deny his brother's evil intentions or minimize his suffering. He acknowledged both the betrayal and the larger story it enabled. This dual awareness, holding both pain and purpose, is the key to post-traumatic growth. Modern secular translation. That terrible thing really happened, and it shaped me in ways that now allow me to help others. This isn't toxic positivity, it's meaning-making that allows you to move forward without bitterness poisoning your future. Practical application. Write 2 parallel narratives of your most painful experience. The trauma story, what was done to you, how it hurt, the injustice of it. The growth story, what capabilities, insights, or compassion it developed. Both are true. The first validates your pain. The second prevents you from being imprisoned by it. The politics of integrity, navigating power dynamics. 6. The Potiphar's wife. Principle, short-term loss for long-term character. When Potiphar's wife attempted to seduce Joseph, he fled so quickly that he left his cloak in her hands, physical evidence she used to frame him. He chose immediate loss, his garment, his job, his freedom, over compromising his integrity. Why this matters now? We constantly face garment moments, situations where keeping our integrity costs us something valuable in the short term. Refusing to fudge numbers that would make you look better. Declining a promotion you know you obtained through someone else's unethical removal. Walking away from a lucrative opportunity built on deception. The Joseph calculus. He understood that character preservation is more valuable than circumstantial advantage. The garment he lost cost him years in prison. The integrity he kept eventually made him prime minister. When facing ethical compromise, ask, will I respect the person I become if I do this? Your relationship with yourself outlasts every external circumstance. 7. The preparation principle. Obscurity is the classroom for visibility. Joseph spent approximately 13 years in slavery and prison, over a decade of preparation for the 80 years of influence that followed. This ratio is crucial. The pattern. In Potiphar's house, learned Egyptian administration and household management. In prison, developed emotional intelligence, leadership, and interpretive skills. In both, built a reputation for reliability and excellence. Modern blind spot. We want expertise without apprenticeship, platforms without practice, influence without formation. Joseph's story demolishes this fantasy. Transformative reframe. If you're in a wilderness season, underemployed, unrecognized, waiting, ask not, when will this end? But what is this developing in me? Your obscurity isn't wasted time. It's intensive preparation for the responsibility you say you want. The individual contributor years aren't obstacles to leadership. They're where you learn the granular realities that make you an effective leader later. Rush past them at your peril. Emotional intelligence under pressure. 8. Process privately, respond publicly. Throughout his encounters with his brothers, Joseph repeatedly withdrew to weep privately before returning to interact with them strategically. He felt deeply but acted wisely. The sophisticated skill, emotional honesty that doesn't become emotional tyranny. Joseph never denied his feelings, but he didn't let them control his timing or decisions. Modern practice. Feel everything in private, journal, therapy, trusted friends. Respond strategically in public, work, conflict, negotiations. Never make permanent decisions in temporary emotional states. This isn't suppression, it's maturity. It honors both your emotional reality and your strategic responsibilities. 9. The generosity test. How you treat people who can't help you. Joseph's kindness to his fellow prisoners, the cupbearer and baker, when he himself was powerless, reveals crucial character. He didn't help them expecting a return. He helped because service was his nature. The irony, the cupbearer forgot Joseph for 2 years, yet that forgotten act of service eventually became his pathway to Pharaoh. Goodness, you do without expectation of return often yields returns you never expected. Modern cynicism versus Joseph's wisdom. Today's culture often advises, only invest in relationships that benefit you. Joseph demonstrates, invest generously, especially when you receive nothing obvious in return. Your character in obscurity determines your capacity for prominence. Daily practice. Each week help someone who cannot possibly help you back. Watch what this does to your soul over time. The integration, living the Joseph principles. Joseph's life isn't a simple, good things happen to good people story. It's far more complex and thus more useful. He faced family betrayal, false accusations, forgotten promises, years of waiting. And yet he emerged not bitter but wise, not vengeful but generous, not broken but whole. Joseph consistently chose the person he wanted to become over the comfort of the moment. Every choice, fleeing Potiphar's wife, serving excellently in prison, testing his brothers before reconciling, reflected this commitment to long-term character over short-term relief. Your Joseph journey, questions for application. Where are you broadcasting dreams prematurely? Who needs protection, not exposure, of your vision right now? What pit or prison are you in? How could excellence in this very situation become your training ground? What's your garment moment? Where are you being asked to compromise integrity for advancement? How can you reframe your greatest betrayal or loss to include both the pain and the growth it forced? Who are you serving who cannot serve you back? This reveals whether you're building character or just collecting allies. If you receive the power you seek today, would you be ready for it? What's your preparation gap? Joseph's story promises not that life will be fair, but that you can become someone magnificent in response to life's unfairness. That's not consolation, it's power. The question isn't whether you'll face pits and prisons. The question is, who will you choose to become in them?